very unfortunate. There are many who are dying that way, who are not known. Our sister Rebecca at least had a name that could sound beyond her own area. So, but for those who are dying quietly, it's an issue which we have to tackle as leaders, as a community, not only political leaders, but leaders from all aspects of society. It's an issue that we must indeed see a way of tackling. We must put our heads together and get a solution on how best it can be mitigated. With that, I request that we stand up and we observe a minute of silence.
May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Later on, we shall be having a motion to pay tribute to her. So I will allow you, honorable colleagues, to express your views and condolences as far as our sister's death is concerned. Honorable colleagues, and now on a more positive and, beautiful note, our president clocked 8 years. We had a huge celebration. And I usually tell colleagues, I usually tell friends that someone attaining another year on earth, it is something worth celebrating for anyone, because it's really, that's not an issue for debate. Whenever each one of us cross, even Kony who was murdering people, when he celebrates, we say happy birthday, even if we don't agree with him. But for this one, who has done a lot that he has done for this country, there is more cause to celebrate. I saw many colleagues there, and also lessons. Honorable colleagues, lessons. Some of us who are half his age, we already look like his age. So those are lessons we should learn in terms of fitness, how he has kept himself healthy. On a personal note, really, beyond the politics, because the politics might come in, but in terms of looking at ourselves, after ourselves personally, really, it's a very impressive example to find someone at 8 years still doing what he can do, looking healthy, with a very sharp memory, running his duties effectively. It's very, very impressive. Honorable colleagues, that's end of my communication, but I have two announcements I would like to make to you, honorable colleagues. The 26th Uganda National Prayer Breakfast, the Uganda Parliamentary Fellowship announces the 26th Uganda National Prayer Breakfast that will take place on Tuesday, 8th of October 2024, and the Women's Forum on 7th October 2024. The National Prayer Breakfast brings together national and international guests from all faiths, branches of government, business community, and diplomatical and international community, with the purpose of fellowshipping, praying, and committing our country to God. The key information is that the chief guest will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, and the host will be Right Honorable Anita Among, the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda. The keynote speaker will be Apostle Isi Igeneba, founder, Mount of Deborah Ministries International, and the venue will be State House, Entebbe, 7 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. I think the theme, Honorable Bahat, will be, if the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? Honorable Bahat will clarify if there is anything I don't get right. We request you to confirm your attendance by filling the confirmation forms at the desk near the pigeon holes by 24th of September 2024, and after you have confirmed, you will do a COVID test. For the Women Forum, honorable colleagues, which happened the day before National Prayer Breakfast and hosted by the Right Honorable Speaker. It will be on 7th of October 2024. And the speaker will be the guest of honor, and the keynote speaker will be His Excellency Joel Howard Taylor, High Excellency Joel Howard Taylor, former Vice President of Liberia, and the special guest will be Her Royal Highness Jovia Mutesi, Queen of Busoga, and the venue will be Speaker Resort Munyonyo, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. No need for COVID test. So please confirm your attendance by 24th September 2024. This one Lope will attend since there is no, because to welcome his namesake, Joel. Yes. So now, colleagues, we have some matters of national importance. On my communication, yes. I will start with Honorable Jane Pachuto. I go to Honorable Bwanika. I go to Honorable Chirumira. I go to Workers. I go to Honorable Semuju, Ruhunda, Yona. I'm going to pick you, Honorable Macho. I must give you a chance. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. May I take this opportunity to welcome you and all colleagues back from Gulu. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to comment on your communication about the loss of our sister, Honorable Sarah Mateke. And I want to thank colleagues who made it to see her off. Right Honorable Speaker, I think it should be a concern of the leadership of this Parliament that given the sudden death of our sister, Right Honorable Speaker, whereas we may look so healthy with a heavy weight, I think, Right Honorable Speaker, it would be good that if the leadership made it mandatory that after a certain period of time, let's say about 3 months or 6 months, we do, I know we have insurance, but if we had doctors, medical personnel coming to check on us, because there are certain diseases. Right Honorable Speaker, please protect me.
Please, Honorable, you're protected.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You can see that means that members are not willing to do checks on their own. That's why you are hearing that negative energy and voices coming out, Right Honorable Speaker. But it's for our own good. It was so painful that some of us attended certain functions with Sarah hardly a week, only to just hear the news of our sudden demise. Means that many of us are carrying ourselves but with ailments that we may not be aware of, Right Honorable Speaker. That is my humble opinion. But Honorable Speaker, I want you to take that this noise implies that many of us don't want to do whatever. Thank you.
The former commissioner wanted maybe to comment on this.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank Honorable Pachito. Honorable Pachito, it will not be the first time. I remember previously we used to have, every morning as you come in here, there was a team at the entrance to do the basic test of pressure. As you leave, you would also do as your own will. Members, this is about our health. Just last week, when we were having this, one of our colleagues collapsed. We had to get him, hurry him out of this place to the hospital. So what Honorable Member is raising is something that pertains to all of us. And even His Excellency, when he made a statement here the other day, he asked of us. So I'm wondering why people are heckling when a serious matter is raised of this nature. So it's about our health. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to ask and appeal to the Commission that for those who are willing, that every morning, every evening, as you come in here, members should be free to go and test. It's not a forceful thing. So, Right Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Now, Honorable colleagues, you know we have a parliamentary clinic. Okay? Anytime you walk in, you do at least those simple checks. So maybe is to encourage you. Okay? Is to encourage you. Otherwise, I don't know how we shall put display there and but honorable colleagues, kindly let us do medical checkups. Let us not take things for granted. And this is on a personal note. I request you, because we don't want to say Honorable Sarah died because she wasn't doing medical checkups. No, Honorable Sarah was doing. Yeah, Honorable Sarah was doing. She used to share with us a few things, okay? And she was open about like pressure and all that. She would tell you. But I request, I encourage you, honorable colleagues, please, let's take it up. But also how we live. How we live. In fact, I think we should remove this chapati, mandazi, and even sugar from the breakfast package we give. We give water and muhogo, cassava, which would be maybe a bit healthier. Yes, I had allowed Honorable Wanika.
Right Honorable Speaker, in the same period when we lost Honorable Sala, I saw in the news that we lost also 2 generals in the accidents. And one of them was a director for training. And I thought that, Right Honorable Speaker, they are worth mentioning on the floor. And secondly, there are so many fatal accidents currently in the country. I thought, Right Honorable Speaker, we should have an opportunity on the floor of Parliament to ask the Minister of Works, but also for us to get opportunity to debate with a view of finding solutions on how to mitigate these fatal accidents, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, Honorable Wanika, thank you. I think it is, I have requested the clerk to get me the names because it's important to have the names on record. And then after getting the names, we shall observe a minute of silence. Thank you so much for that. Yes, Honorable Chirimira.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also appreciate your communication on the birthday that happened in Nakaseke, Greater Luero. It is within our interest to celebrate life, but of concern, Right Honorable Speaker, is the lavish expenditure that happened during the celebrations in Nakaseke. The former president of Tanzania, John Pombe Magufuli, when he became president of Tanzania, one of the things that he cancelled was national celebrations. And money was diverted to hospitals and schools. In that area of Luero, Greater Luero, where the birthday happened, we have so many schools where children are going to school and sitting on bricks. How I wish we could divert that kind of expenditure into schools and hospitals where our people are suffering. Right Honorable Speaker, we are all raised up to celebrate life, and we all celebrate birthdays. And don't get me wrong, colleagues. But again, we need to look at the greater good when it comes to celebrations. I was particularly concerned by the organization and the amount of money that was spent in celebrating birthday. We would have gotten our cake somewhere and celebrate it as Ugandans for Genome 7 getting to 80. And I want to believe that Ugandans would have been very happy with that. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Chiruma, maybe to inform you that people made contributions for this function. And if and if you're among the people who listened to the speeches, you had people who are being thanked. I'm among the people who contributed personally. Okay? We have people who contributed cows, people who contributed bananas. We only missed your contribution. And if you have it ready, I can deliver it, because we still have a few dates we haven't cleared. So this wasn't a state function, it was a private function, organized by the family, by the children and friends and well-wishers. Thank you. Yes, honorable colleagues, I have received information from Honorable Ereru, who has volunteered. The 2 generals who died the Brigadier General to Inamasco, Director Training of the UPDF, and the retired Brigadier General Chamba, the former Deputy Commander of Artillery Division. I request that we observe a minute of silence in their honor.
May their souls rest in eternal peace.
Yes, I had. No, it was Honorable Yona.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you for telling us what transpired at Nakaseke as you celebrated the birthday of His Excellency the Sabarwany of this nation. And I want to add my voice to thank God for the good life He has given him. I don't know, Mr. Wero will answer me, because I know he's among the still alive 27 freedom fighters who brought peace that we are all enjoying. And I want to thank the people who brought bunches of Mateke, because personally I wanted to bring. I want to thank those who brought cows, and the Speaker for standing in for us. So we really wish him a happy birthday as Parliament. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Semuju.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker. A while ago, Honorable Pachito advised that we need to subject ourselves to periodical checks following the sudden death of our colleague. But there are also constitutional requirements. To be a president, the Constitution says you must be mentally and physically fit. In America, the President Joe Biden was actually asked not to participate in elections on account of his age, 79. When you have an 80-year-old president who keeps making erratic decisions, Mr. Speaker, I want to implore this Parliament that we subject our president to, now that he's 80, to periodical mental and physical test, because that's a requirement of the Constitution. You can see her, but the Constitution says so. As a
Order, Dr. Roki.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I have listened to my senior colleague, Honorable Semuji, who happens to be the MP in an area where I live. He is trying to insinuate that an elderly person at 80 years cannot steer this country, cannot reason. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, if America is saying people at 80 should be subjected to other medical tests, but our president has not shown any sign of failing. He has not shown any sign of failing to discharge his duties. So, is Honorable Semuju in order to insinuate that our president, who is experienced to lead this country, is he in order to insinuate that our president cannot lead this country? Thank you.
You know, colleagues, I told you some time back that issues of Honorable Semuju and His Excellency M7 are like issues of generals. They usually sort themselves. Yeah? But Honorable Semuju has referred to the Constitution. The Constitution, I don't know whether it goes to give the parameters of requiring you to subject someone to test and all that. I don't know whether he's proposing we amend the law, we subject them to the test, you know. But the man is doing very well.
Mr. Speaker, I am saying this in good faith because the makers of this constitution had actually put an article that at 75 you can't be a president. I was not in the CA. And the president himself, you know, before he came here, I was a journalist. When we interviewed him, he said at 75 you are tired. Someone who doesn't even remember that there is no governor for the central bank. We need, and I'm just doing this in good faith, even for his health.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Ibrahim Semuju, for yielding the floor. From a medical standpoint, we have two types of aging. There is what we call chronological aging, which is a measure of a number of years, and what we call physiological aging, whereby you have seen people who are 60, but they are finished. So they are chronologically young, but biologically aged. And I want to speak as a medical professional that President Yoweri Museveni may have chronologically clocked 80 years, but he is biologically young. And yes, and the spirit and letter of the Constitution is that it is the voters, if he presents himself or any other aged person, it is up to the voters to assess whether you are energetic to lead them or not. Indeed, I know the Honorable Semuju is a Muslim, but I just want to quote from the Christian Bible. If you read in the book of Job, chapter 12, verse 12, it says, wisdom belongs to the aged and understanding to the old. That's what the Bible says. So there is no problem with the age of President Yoweri Museveni. In any case, physiologically is very sound and able to lead. And indeed, there are many leaders who are above 80 in many countries. We can give you many examples. So, do not be worried. Do not be worried. If he offers himself, it is up to the voters. That's what the Constitution of Uganda says.
Honorable Semuju, conclude, kindly. I want us to conclude.
I want to thank the Minister for information. He actually only confirms that we need to do a test. That was his submission, to establish whether chronologically or... So we need to do a test. But Mr. Speaker, I am saying this, I want to repeat in good faith. You know, when presidents age, you saw what happened to Zimbabwe. Even family members begin taking national decisions. You saw Grace Mugabe.
Procedure.
These days you have seen the president, his son.
Procedure.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm raising under Rule 79. A member has been advised and even a quotation has been read to him from the Holy Book. But he has continuously engaged us and derailed us in repetitions. Okay? Which are actually not adding any value, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. Through you, Right Honorable Speaker, under this rule, I would like to move that the member no longer be heard. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, we run this house on flexibility, okay? But let us not also overstretch that flexibility. Honorable, conclude. You are concluding. Conclude. conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have never seen young people who want to be led by old people. And they take pride in it.
But now, whenever I told you to conclude, you're opening more wars.
Therefore, Mr. Speaker, since you are one of those who are approached to contribute cows and banana, I know you have more access than any member of this parliament. Kindly, on our behalf, make arrangement to do a simple thing. Just test if the president is mentally and physically okay.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, I think when this parliament sat down and resolved, whether you agreed with the resolution or not, but you resolved that you don't want to limit the age of anyone leading this country. You knew even people of 100 years will present themselves as president. You know, we are the ones who resolved it, so we can't run away from it. Yeah, so President Museveni, we are the ones who allowed him. Let Ugandans either accept or reject him. We leave it. I think the best test for him to know whether he's very okay will be done by Ugandans. Parliament, we don't have any power to do a test on an individual. Yes, Honorable Macho.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank God. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank God for your wonderful and very wonderful communication today, which includes the birth of President Yoweri Museveni, the birthday of President Yoweri Museveni. Mr. Speaker, together with the people of Busia, we join the rest of the country. And two, I want to appreciate all the statements that were made on that day. Although my friend Honorable Krumira is not agreeing that it is very worthy to celebrate the life of a president, moreover a honest president. We have President Arap Moi who died without us knowing his age. But this is a president who declared that he's 80 years. And Mr. Speaker, at the same time, in Busia culture, and we have a proverb saying that if you steal in the basket of an old man is a curse. When Honorable Chirumira was complaining, I remembered the words of our president when he said that at the age of 75, these people of Nupu Soro, he's 1 million votes. I don't know what really Hudelopu is thinking. Because if you steal from an old man of 75 years, you cannot wish him a good birthday. But as a country, we must agree that President Museveni is a gift to this country because of the stability and the peace he has brought in this country. And I think, and the development majorly, with what I've witnessed in Busia municipality, I believe he is still strong enough. Because we have seen younger people, although they have grown in the cities, in the ghettos, doing more mistakes than the elder. Thank you, Mr.
Honorable Rabshija.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Mine is a matter of national importance.
Okay, Honorable Hunda.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would advise all the younger and middle-aged MPs to learn from President Museveni. How can you live up to 80 years and you are still fit? I think he's a role model for us to learn from. Right Honorable Speaker, I was very disturbed when we lost our two generals because I know what it means for the nation to train a soldier to reach up the rank of a general. A lot of resources are spent on this person, but the knowledge and expertise that guarantee our security is very key. So it is very disturbing that we lost our two generals through road accidents. The first question, Right Honorable Speaker, is to find out the circumstances that led to the deaths of these two generals. How could these two generals die in one day at different times? They were in different cars. So what could be really the reason? How can we get explanation from UPDF, the Minister of Defense? The Minister of Defense must come here with an explanation about the cause of these two generals' deaths. Because we value our generals, we value our army. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand as the chairperson, Parliamentary Forum on Road and Water Safety. We are losing a lot of lives in these countries out of reckless accidents. And one of when we go to the researchers, they show that 95% of these accidents are a human error. But unfortunately, Ugandans, through all these different spiritual beliefs, they have come to believe that actually it is God's plan for somebody to die on the road. This is very unfortunate, because in other nations where roads, the traffic laws work, we experience very minimal loss of lives. But here in Uganda, everybody has come to be accustomed that actually it is the act of God that is robbing our people on the roads. Right Honorable Speaker, my prayer, as I sit down, Right Honorable Speaker, it is good you visited us in Fort Portal. The Fort Portal Kampala Road, this is a national road. It is in a total mess. It has dilapidated, and a journey that would take only 4 hours, now we take 7.5 hours. And this is the road where this Minister of State for Works passes to go to his constituency, where the Prime Minister passes to go to the constituency, where the Minister of Finance passes to go to constituency. I'm really wondering, really, when you sit in the cabinet, what happens on this national economic road that now is going to cause more deaths for our people? I beg to move my...
Honourable Minister, maybe you will touch on that, because I know there is a contract on that road, but it's a going concern. Honourable Francis Mwijuche, Shadow Minister for Works, had brought an issue related to that earlier on, so let me allow him to raise it, then the Minister can respond at once.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, there are very many accidents on the roads, although we are talking about the two generals, but it's important to point out that the accidents on these roads have increased. On very many roads, Masaka Road, Jinja Road, Toro Road, Busia, Entebbe Road, there's a spot on Entebbe Road, I think around Nkumba, that has claimed very many people. That very spot at the university stage. We have seen buses of students, even in town here. Last year, in July, I think it was the 13th of July, this matter came in this very house. And the Speaker then convened a meeting of Minister of Works, UNRA, the ROP, I think there was Minister of Internal Affairs, and Right Honourable Speaker, I have answered here. After that meeting, very many interventions in the immediate, medium, and long term were reached at, agreed on. Right Honourable Speaker, some of these interventions were to do with initiating pop-up messages by the Minister of ICT and National Guidance, replacing the missing road infrastructure, towing abandoned vehicles, immediate removal of roadside markets, compliance with the right of way and use of lead cars, increasing the recurrent budget allocation of UNRA, responsible use of road vehicles and government vehicles, compliance with the speed limit, and also enhancement of budget provisions, dealing with blind and black spots. Many interventions were reached at. The last one was that they agreed to have a monthly meeting to evaluate what they agreed on immediate intervention. Right on, Speaker, most of these interventions have not been effected. And now we are talking about increased road accidents. Right on, Speaker, I would want to know why all these interventions were not effected, and now we are talking about a year later, because that was 13th of July. This is September 2024, and nothing has happened. Because maybe if we had effected this, we wouldn't be talking about increased road accidents. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, some information.
Honourable Minister. Honourable colleagues, we are coming to 3 p.m. and we are still on my communication. Before even matters of national importance, we have an order paper to manage. Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to begin with the issue of Entebbe. We are aware of it, and we have a report we are finalizing. But what I must say, the issue was coming from the traffic lights were near one another, and that could confuse the drivers. But I request next week if I can bring the detailed report, because we have got many accidents on that stretch, such that everyone is informed. Then on the issue of the
Honourable colleague, you don't move to the microphone. You remain in. Yeah, once he refuses, he has refused. Honourable Minister, go
on. On the issue of
thank you. Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the reason why you give us these front seats as the shadow ministers and ministers of government is so we can work out and mitigate the challenges in the country. The issue I'm raising, and which I'm interested in with the minister, the clarification is that this year alone, road accidents have claimed lives of children 260 in number. Children, 260. You can think about those parents. So what I'm seeking, could you come with that
of your information, Honourable?
That's clarification. Would you come with the detailed information of how those children have been dying on getting these accidents? Are they as is of crossing roads, going to school? What happened to them? So that we take good analysis and we look at all those challenges. But 260 children is a big number.
Honourable, once you put statistics here, we need source of information, because the answer is an important record. So the minister is the source of information.
Yes. Right Honourable Speaker.
It is traffic, Mr. Speaker, put the records clear. It is traffic report. Police last week. And I will tell you if you want, Mr. Speaker, for
Honourable Minister, you seem to be the source. So
Right Honourable Speaker, I didn't know that elders nowadays also they tell lies. I must say what he's saying, it is a lie. That is his source of information. And if he has evidence that
point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I never intend to raise a point of order, because of course, remember one time you directed me, and the minister promised to go with him to Northern Express Highway, so that we look at the barricades that were removed. He never came, and here he is telling the house that Seung is telling lies in the house. I've been in this house, I always give right information. What I've stated is a police report. And if the minister is given news in his office, but doesn't make good use of the news, it is very unfortunate. Government is procuring him newspapers, but is not using them. So I would pray, is in order, Mr. Speaker, to deny what I've said, whereas he would have said that when I remember, let me take in interest and find what I can report back as I come. So is in order to say that I'm a liar, whereas I'm putting on my rosary very smartly and telling the truth from a police report, which is displayed in all the news and is well known, from the Minister of ICT and his team, from Minister of Information.
I think I won't defend the minister because I warned him when he was giving an opportunity, he didn't listen. But anyway, on a very serious note, it would be very important when you refer to a report to table it here. Now it's difficult for me to know whether he's lying, whether you are lying. I think to make it very easy, tomorrow we can correct the record by you tabling the report here. Okay? Yeah, that will help us. Thank you. Yeah. But Honourable Minister, here we don't use language of lying, we usually say, I'm not sure, or the member has not proved, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So.
Okay, right, Honourable Speaker, I withdraw the word I mentioned. They lie in a good face, but what had provoked me, it was the unverified information. So, my colleague, I withdraw. Right, Honourable Speaker, as I conclude the Entebbe issue, the intervention we have done now, we have removed the traffic lights which were close to one another. As we look around to work on that issue permanently, that they will save our Ugandans. We shall bring the report to this house as you may guide. Maybe next week that the country can be able to know what is happening. Then, on the issue of...
Honourable colleagues, once you request twice and you're not responded to, please, you start disrupting proceeding. So, Honourable, kindly take your seat.
Then on the issue of Mitiana Mubende, right, Honourable Speaker, I do accept personally take that road, but it doesn't mean that I should strangle the government programs on how they are arranged to cater for my place. If the resources are limited, then all of us we should be equal. The contractor...
Thank you, Honourable Minister, for giving way. Right, Honourable Speaker and Honourable Minister, last year, Kafo Bridge was washed away by floods. And the Honourable Minister of Works came here and told the public, the Parliament, that works will commence this early January. And right, Honourable Speaker, with oil and gas at its highest peak in the country, Kampala-Hoima Road is the main route to the oil, to the Albertine Grabens. And most of the heavy trucks are using that same bridge. We want the Honourable Minister to also clarify on when the Kafo Bridge is going to be rehabilitated, when the construction works are going to start. I submit.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. On Mubende Mitiana, we have Fort Potro. The stretch from Mitiana to Mubende, we had a contract on site, but we couldn't have enough money to pay in time. But currently, he was demanding us 41 billion Uganda shillings, and we have got 20 billion. We have paid him, and we have engaged him. He's back on the site currently to finish the stretch up to Mubende. Meanwhile, as we look for the balance of the 21 billion. Then on the side from Mubende, going up to Fort Potro, we are doing some simple rehabilitation for the potholes.
Going up to Chenjojo?
Yeah, going up to...
Because Fort Potro, Chenjojo you had done.
Yeah, going to Chenjojo, we have done some simple rehabilitation using our in-house engineers and the equipment we have. And I must say, my honourable colleague, he must be singing those on that road. But meanwhile, the designs have been completed. Then we shall go to the next phase to look for funds. And once we get them, shall get the contractor to reconstruct or rehabilitate the entire stretch from Mubende up to Chenjojo. Then also, on the issue of my colleague, Honorable Seungu said that I came here, promised to go with him to Entebbe Express to visit those places. Honestly, Honorable Speaker, I must be on record. I looked for the honorable colleague on phone. He could not answer my calls. I even WhatsApped him, he did not reply, it is on record. I can even bring the evidence on the dates when I called you. But us as a ministry, we went and visited. It's on record. And if he wants our findings, I will share with him. I thought I looked for you, maybe if it was within my means, then I could have made it publicly. But we shall share with you our report on the findings we got. Then lastly, on the Kafu bridge, Right Honourable Speaker, that bridge was washed away. And immediately, we got money. We rehabilitated it. After rehabilitating, that was a temporary solution, and currently traffic is flowing on very well. But meanwhile, to avoid other future problems, we want to repeat, we want to make designs for reconstruction of all.
Minister, point of order.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. As I speak now, UNRA came and put some concrete blocks in the middle of the roads, in the middle of the bridge where there were potholes, and they left them there. That is the rehabilitation that the minister is talking about. So, Right Honourable Speaker, is it procedurally right? Yes. Is the Honourable Minister for Works and Transport in order to come and lie this Honourable House? To misguide this honourable house that they did renovation of that bridge.
Thank you. Now, Honourable, you've just confirmed that they did some rehabilitation yourself by putting whatever they put. It might not have been sufficient. Okay? It might not have been sufficient, but Honourable colleagues, please, Honourable colleagues, let us listen to the minister on the long-term solution. Okay? Which is, he was reporting on the long-term solution. Look at how best we can support all these efforts.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, as the longer-term solution, because we anticipate, since the weather keeps on changing, the same problem may occur in future, and even it may cut off the road for almost a week, which we don't wish to happen. Currently, we have constituted a team to redesign all those bridges which are on those busy roads, such that we reconstruct them at a given point when floods surface, that they can be able to handle the volumes of waters, so that in the future people don't suffer. If my honourable colleague wishes to move with me, and from where she's from there, we can move for a supervision of that bridge which I'm talking about. Together it causes no harm. She's my sister, a good one, such that I can try to explain with my engineers what we did and also what we intend to do in the future, so that you can appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, Honourable Minister, I'm receiving many notes from honourable colleagues. They have many issues to do with accidents and the road sector. So, Honourable Mwijuche gave a comprehensive list of issues which we had discussed with the Speaker and the Chairperson, Forum on Transport, Road and Water Safety, Honourable Alex Rwunda, also raised salient issues. I think since you're bringing the report from Kumba, I would request that you look at those issues, okay? You respond to them one by one. We come here and we have a comprehensive debate. I accommodate all these issues. Otherwise, we are going to stop on that, honourable colleagues, if we are, because each one is having a serious point on this. No, honourable colleagues, this is done, okay? I don't know how I can pick one and I leave the others on the same point. Let's wait till the report comes from the minister, then I give you an opportunity, honourable colleagues, okay? Matters of national importance, Honourable Narima.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, on the 10th day of August, when the country had a catastrophe of the Chitezi landfill, the following moments, the State Minister for Disaster Preparedness on the 13th day was here to give a way forward and update this parliament of what could be done and what was being proposed at that time. Right Honorable Speaker, by then over 1,000 people were affected. And as we talk today, Right Honorable Speaker, we are having several of our people still in the camp of Chitezi, and we are having many of those people being affected that they haven't even gone to school, those especially in higher spaces. Right Honorable Speaker, as we talk, matters are made worse during this rainy season, that by that time, the Chitezi landfill had to block the drainage system. And when you get there at this hour, we are having the foul water from the landfill now flowing in other people's residences. Leave the 200-meter buffer zone, those ones who are now in the camp. So to my prayers, Right Honorable Speaker, right now, we are asking and we pray that since it was through this very house, when the August House was briefed that there is space at Dundu and it was entirely a residential space, could we get to know when government is going to expeditiously have the matter of Chitezi resolved by having compensation getting on? Could we get to know that? Because they were promised compensation, but nothing is taking place as far as compensation of those who are in the buffer zone. Now also another catastrophe is coming in of the foul water flowing in the neighboring residences. Then also, could we are praying as people representing the people of Chitezi that let government also update this house fully on what is going to be done as far as the landfill is concerned, as far as clearing that garbage, because as we talk today, several other people, several other dead bodies are still down in that garbage still field. We also pray that we get an update when KCCA is going to come up with the clearance plan of removing that garbage so that the drainages now are cleared. And finally, Right Honorable Speaker, we pray that really the Chitezi matter gets more concern and it gets more priority as far as government is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, you remember last time the Prime Minister, through the Minister for Disaster Preparedness, presented a statement on her own volition, requested us, and she promised to keep updating the House. So, Right Honorable, because these questions are questions that would really come in an update that the leaders from that area can easily explain to their people and all of us who have been citizens and all that. So, Right Honorable.
Right Honorable Speaker, we had a meeting this morning about Chitezi. We had a meeting yesterday in Cabinet about Chitezi, and I requested that you give permission to the Minister in charge of KCCA to come and give a brief or an update on what we have agreed on.
Sure, it will get priority. The body is in your court.
So I request that on Thursday, I request that on Thursday, let the minister come and give the brief to Parliament.
Please.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Honorable colleagues, can we, Rob?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm glad a statement is coming, and to encourage firstly the Prime Minister that we don't wait for a prodding from this side. It's important that there is a regular update. I did see a story on TV, a pastor who lost his wife and child. He did make an appeal to government saying, please allow us to conduct a funeral service at that Chitezi place so that we have closure for our loved ones, because he lost his wife and child and the bodies have not been exhumed. I think it's important that the regular updates do come through. But I would like to appeal to the Prime Minister, as that update comes on Thursday, can there be emphasis on the waste plan for Kampala? Because we have a disaster that is looming. KCCA tells us that Kampala generates between 2,000 to 2,500 tons of waste per day. That waste now does not have a home. They tried to go to Wakiso. It was not received well. They tried out Mukono. There is an arrangement that is not quite working out. When you move through different parts of Kampala, right, Honorable Speaker, you will find heaps of garbage because it's not being collected. Can we know what the plan is? Otherwise, we are going to have another disaster, cholera or something of the sort, away from Chitezi. Now, the other parts of Kampala and the surrounding areas, it's important that that update captures what the plan is. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Anette Mugisha, I hope, Right Honorable, you've taken note of that.
I have a matter of national importance requesting for a refund assistance for the victims of a disaster in Igala West in Bushenyi district. Right Honorable Speaker, the people of sub-counties of Nyabare, Kakanju and Bitoma Town Council were affected by the hailstorms which affected them seriously, destroyed a number of households and crops. The major crops were affected are bananas, cassava, beans, maize, and sweet potatoes, plus tea and coffee plantation. Right Honorable Speaker, a disaster took place on August 28, 2024 and September 9, 2024 in Kakanju and Bitoma Town Council in Bushenyi district. The buildings were affected, 2 primary schools were affected, and actually some students, some pupils have not reported yet. And those homes that were damaged, people are sleeping outside. In summary, 1,460 homes were affected. Prayers. Right Honorable Speaker, the affected household should be assisted with planting materials and seedlings. 2, the affected schools and parish headquarters should be funded to reconstruct the damaged structures and also be given building materials like iron sheets. And lastly, the affected households should be given relief food items like posho and beans. Right Honorable Speaker, I have here a copy from the district already received in the office of the Prime Minister, and to justify what I have just submitted.
A copy of what, Honorable?
A report, a comprehensive report of the disaster that took place, and it comes from the district. I therefore ask you to allow me to lay. Thank you.
Yeah, don't mind, Honorable, because that's usually what the Prime Minister asks for, okay?
Thank you, Right
Don't
Honourable
mind, we've
Speaker.
taken note of it.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Yeah. Right Honourable?
Right Honourable Speaker, sorry for what happened in those areas that Honourable Annette has mentioned, but I want to remind colleagues that whenever we have such disasters, let us follow the correct procedures, especially going through the disaster committee, and you bring that report to the office of the Prime Minister, mainly to the office of the disaster preparedness, so that it can be handled. But I have taken note of what has happened to those people, and I request my sister, Honorable Annette, please let us get that information. Since you have it here in writing, you can forward it to our offices, or you can give it to me here. Then we handle those cases. I thank you.
Thank you. Now, number one, for the record, it's not members of Parliament who should be taking those reports. It's the CAOs, the Chief Administrative Officer. So as members of Parliament, we usually get copies and for record purposes and following up. So Honorable has a copy, her own copy of following up. She can pass it on to you so that it can help you, Right Honorable. But number 2, Honorable colleagues, I have received very many issues of that nature. And I worked a little in that sector when I was a government chief whip. Under OPM, we used to have Tuesday meetings, and I'm sure even now they do, and they discuss this issue. I think what we need to do, Right Honorable, this is a rainy season, and these cases are going to be coming up. I think you need to come here and you update the House on how prepared you are to address these concerns, so that we know you have food, you have tamperines, you have iron sheets, they are in store, and then members know if they are not there, they don't burden themselves. If they are there, they come. Because I have a list here, and the answer is always the same. Okay? So, Right Honorable, can I request Wednesday next week? Right Honorable Prime Minister, Wednesday next week, because you're going to have your meeting on Tuesday, you have cabinet and all that. You prepare very well an update on how prepared you are to mitigate all these disasters that are going to be coming up during this rainy season. It would help us to reduce on these matters coming on the order paper every day. Okay? Honorable Rabshija Margaret? Oh, you said you have a procedure matter, Honorable Enos?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You had given the Prime Minister instructions to bring a report on Chitezi. And my honorable colleague...
Honorable colleague, I don't give instructions.
Okay.
Please,
you are directed.
You know, in literature, listen, in literature there is what we call diction. Diction, that's a choice of words. I use my words deliberately.
I apologize.
I don't direct a minister because I don't supervise a minister.
I apologize for the use.
And usually they take my request seriously. So please.
Okay, thank you so much. You had guided that the Right Honourable Prime Minister should bring a report on Chitezi. And my honourable colleague mentioned something to do with the water that is running off the heap. That water, before the incident, had a treatment plant, but the treatment plant itself had failed because it eventually ends into Lake Victoria. And the problem we had then as a committee of climate change, we had requested money so that the treatment plant can be worked on. They were asking for 5 billion. But by the time of the incident, the money had not been provided for. So don't you think it's procedurally right? As the Prime Minister comes to give a statement, they give us an update on the treatment plant, because this water that is running off the heap is actually ending in the lake, and it's these lakes that we are feeding on.
Thank you.
I begged for your guidance, Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable, that's not a matter of procedure, but the minister should take note. Okay? But that's not a procedure. Procedure has to do with how the House is running on that same day. Thank you. Let me first Honourable Rabshisha, then I allow Honourable Sachku.
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mine is a matter of national concern on the non-payment and discontinuation of the part-time teaching staff by Kyambogo University management. Kyambogo University, Right Honourable Speaker, is one of the Uganda's largest public universities that has been in existence for 21 years, and it boasts of a specialty robust program of skills training for the so-called Bazukulu. However, there has been an ongoing challenge of the staff because they are not being paid on the payroll. So there is a problem with the management over that non-payment of salary because they are not, and yet we have so many part-time teachers or lecturers who constitute 80% of the university payroll, because out of the required staff of 1,281, they only have 401 lecturers part-time. The story of the non-payment of salaries seems to be synonymous with the institution's name, Kyambogo. As in the 2023, part-time lecturers threatened to withdraw their services, and or not to give back, or to, sorry, not to set examinations. And so, with that, then the government, the staff members showed that there was a gap, because those remaining who are on full-time pay, they cannot do much because of the workload. And currently, I've been informed that there is a deficit of 5.6 billion Uganda shillings that has been accumulated over 13 months in salary arrears. But the Department of Mechanical and Production Engineering is demanding up to 16 months of salary arrears. Interestingly, the Human Resource Department, instead of working to make sure that people get what they are claiming, they instead dismissed all of them, those part-timers, and recruited another team of the same category of those who are not, those who are part-timers. So there is a challenge, and I feel that we should be able to look after the workers in this country, because many of us have gone through the efforts of those workers, irrespective of where they belong. My prayer, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, that the Speaker could help us and maybe come up with a committee to investigate and make recommendations on how to ensure that the affected workers get paid their salaries. Number two, prayer number two, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, I pray that the Speaker helps us to have a forensic audit of this very good institution for those of us who passed through there, but now it's a nightmare. Right Honourable Speaker, I submit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honourable Sewung had a related matter related to that, which I had suggested.
Yeah, thank you. As a shadow minister, I also raised this matter that has always come whenever the term is beginning. I made a round call in all a number of districts, and the schools have not got capitation grant. But the Minister of Education, Higher Education, was on radio directing head teachers to buy school items, materials for the new curriculum with no funds. And what's happening, Mr. Speaker, as we talk now, news are running that students are not reporting to school. I think they have got wind of what is happening. Whenever a term is to begin, teachers must be at the school at least a week before to prepare. They have to be there to prepare. That's what private schools are doing. But here we are, Minister of Finance has refused adamantly, if at all, always not to send money in time, whereas this Parliament directed that schools should get their capitation grant 15 days before. Government is paying 3,000 shillings per child per term. 3,000. And the term has 92 days. But you have failed to send this money in time, and you are going to arrest head teachers that they stole money. They are not doing well. Because if you give them money after the term has moved 2 months, that means that's it can be their share. They will not be able to buy chalk. They will not be able to buy pens. What are teachers using to prepare to start teaching? So as a shadow minister, can we know when the minister was directing head teachers to start buying scholastic materials for the new curriculum, and we have candidate classes, where are they getting their money from? They are from their poor, bigger salary. And Mr. Speaker, through you, the Minister of Finance is here. What is failing you to send money before the term begins so that these teachers can do something? But Mr. Speaker, whether you go anywhere, students have refused to report, majority. But we are, as members of Parliament, we have been pushing. We have talked to parents, take your children to school, but there's nothing to do at school.
Thank you.
They are taking them to slash. That's my matter, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy the Honourable Minister has come in.
Honourable Minister of Finance, release of capitation grants No, the money is released by finance, capitation grants.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the matter being raised by Honorable Gonzaga is a matter of national importance. And from the way he is portraying it, is like as if government is not doing anything, which is not the case. Mr. Speaker, I need to come back here tomorrow with facts and figures about what we have budgeted, what we have released, and what we plan to release in October.
Thank you. The minister has asked to come back tomorrow with facts. So let him come tomorrow with facts. Yeah, there is nothing to contest about that. Okay, so Minister, tomorrow, we shall give you an opportunity to give you, to update us. Honorable, no, let's wait tomorrow when the minister updates. Honorable Minister for Education, the issue of Chambogo failing to pay staff.
Mr. Speaker, apologies. Honorable colleagues had moved out within the lobby here. I wanted maybe to get the correct information. So
Can you link up with Honorable Rabshija and then you update us tomorrow?
I thank you. Right on, Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Sechkubo, the round procedure. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for allowing me this opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on a matter that touches on the way this Parliament is proceeding. We had an issue, and indeed we came up with a motion in respect to our commissioners for the removal of our commissioners. And we did all that is provided for under our rules. That included, among others, drafting a motion with grounds and then the collection of signatures, which we did. And under these very rules, Right Honorable Speaker, a notification was made to the clerk to Parliament, having satisfied all the requirements. And indeed, we knew the process had been set into motion. And it was clear that within 14 days, the matter would be brought on the floor of Parliament for debate, so that it can end in one way or the other. I'm not standing here to say that the motion must have succeeded. That's not my statement. But I'm saying the motion should have gotten justice. Having scored on all the grounds, having set it into motion, it had to be entertained by this House. There were other issues that happened where those being accused chose to take themselves to court, were not witnesses, we did not give evidence. Thank you. But, Right Honorable Speaker, a motion supported by 186 signatures formed part of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, the moment it gotten into the processes of Parliament, it had to be processed to its logical conclusion. To its logical conclusion. While we were in Gulu, I rose on the same matter, and the then presiding officer, the Right Honorable Speaker, used some other language, but then the essence was that will be handled in Kampala. and here we are in Kampala. Right Honorable Speaker, as members of Parliament and you, our leader, the Speaker, we are all subject to the rules. When without any justification, yes, indeed we got correspondences, but once a matter had gotten underway, it had to be resolved by way of chair. The Speaker in chair would give a ruling in one way or the other, having received this motion. And we waited. In one way or the other, we cannot go by letters. But the House had to be constituted, fully constituted, so that we get a ruling from the Speaker while seated in the chair, because that is the authority you get over this House. To date, we've not gotten that. And we are looking at the rules. We are forced. No. Yes. Yes. Most obliged, Honorable Odria. Thank you for the input. And indeed, he's making me look at our rules of procedure and Rule 224. Rule 224, when everything else is stopped, we have no way out but to look at Rule 224. Rule 224 talks about the contempt of Parliament, where an act or omission which obstructs or impedes Parliament in the performance of its function, or which obstructs or impedes a member or office of Parliament in the discharge of his duties, or affronts the dignity of Parliament, or which tends either directly or indirectly to produce such a result, shall be contempt of Parliament. And we are extremely constrained, Right Honourable Speaker, with a lot of pain for us to go through the rules once again. You are our leaders. You are presiding over this House. But these rules don't give you also room to hold Parliament in contempt. They don't. And when we read the letters written that there has been a court directive, once court ruled that Honorable Zake be reinstated as a commissioner, and it has never been effected. How come that now the judgments are being applied selectively, Right Honourable Speaker? We are humble before you. We are before you. This is our House. Before you know it, Right Honourable Speaker, according to the evidence we have, we went to court and got a record of proceedings. And in record, you'll be surprised. There are 2 sets of minutes of that very impugned service award. In one of the minutes, chaired by the Right Honourable Speaker, with commissioners, Honourable Matthias Mpuga, Honourable Akampulira, Honourable Sirwanyi, and Honourable Esther Foyochan, and other members of staff. But another set, we are seeing the Right Honourable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, you attended that meeting, and other commissioners. So every day as these matters stay on, there are new inputs being made. And yet from the word go, the Deputy Speaker was not in that meeting. But finally what we are getting now, you are part of that meeting. And there are changes. Every day we delay, new inputs are being made, corrections to the minutes are being made, and we are left at a loss. So, Right Honourable Speaker, why are you doing this injustice to this House?
Thank you.
Why are you doing the injustice to this country? We are humble before you. But as we wait for your time to bid, you are putting in other innovations in the minutes. You are putting other record on in the minutes. And we look ugly. This house is looking ugly. We are looking very bad, Right Honourable Speaker. And we thought we should avoid the technicalities. You must rule on this motion in one way or the other. We may lose the motion, that doesn't matter. But for the honourable members who appended their 186 signatures, they need justice to this matter. We can't just walk away. We need justice, because short of this, you will never get a motion to be supported and sponsored by members of parliament.
Thank you.
And Right Honourable Speaker, as I take my seat, I beg that you guide strongly and firmly this House on our motion and what you want us to do. Tell us what you want us to do. Having fulfilled all the requirements, all everything possible. But at the end of the day, the bigger picture we have is we all contribute in the fight against corruption. We are all, we are going to say that we are holier than others. But we are saying we are making our humble contribution in the fight against corruption. And this fight must begin with us. And whereas you stood tall, I'm telling you, the records we have, your name has also been included as we speak now. I therefore rest my case. Yes, we have it. I rest my case, Right Honourable Speaker, and will await your guidance on the matter. I thank you so much.
Thank you. No, let's take it easy from here. Thank you, Honourable Sech Kubo. And I think it was very important for you to raise this matter. Number one, I received copies of the communications between you, the lead petitioner, and the Right Honourable Speaker. The Right Honourable Speaker chose to communicate that way because that's a matter which had not yet come on the floor. It had not yet come on record on the floor. It was a matter that was still in the process. If it had been a matter that had been already on the floor in terms of the petition reaching here, her ruling would have been here. That's number one. Number two, in that communication, the Right Honourable Speaker communicated to you properly that she had invoked the res judicata rule, which means a matter that is being handled by a competent court. I saw your response to her, and where you were contesting, but she said the subject matter had been adequately dealt with by the courts, and the same courts had ruled in previous cases, warning Parliament and any other institution against going on with matters on which court has already pronounced itself, whereby the only option that would be available would be an option of appealing to court. So, as presiding officers, we determine the business that gets placed on the order paper. But in doing that, we must be very cautious of our national laws. The moment the laws hinder you, this is not the opinion of the Speaker or her wish, no. This is a court ruled on that same subject matter, and her hands are tied. Okay? Her hands are tied. If you want this to be communicated to MPs, I think we can do that. That shouldn't be a problem, Honourable. But really, I request Honourable colleagues that this is a matter where the leadership of Parliament has given very clear guidance, and the hands are tied. Me allow Honourable Rion on the same.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, with due respect and with the proper interpretation of various court rulings, take an example.
the one of Zake, where court ruled that Zake should be accepted back, reinstated to the commission. It is this same parliament, led by Anita Among, who, listen carefully, who disrespected the court ruling and locked him out till date. Right Honorable Speaker, it's this same parliament, get me carefully, it's this same parliament that is now going into contempt of the rules and procedure of the Parliament of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, our petition was very clear. Rule 10, Rule 110 of the procedures of this Parliament gave us various options to launch our petition. We did not look at service award. Actually, the rule does not have a provision. The rules do not provide any provision as service award for impeachment. We have various options, grounds for impeachment. We have grounds of misconduct. Help me with my note. We have grounds of misconduct. We have grounds of having insane brain. Yes, in case a commissioner. And we have grounds of incompetence. And then we have grounds of insanity. So when you look at service award, was not one of our main grounds or the pillars for the petition. Therefore, the court ruling on service award cannot be a ruling to bring down or rubbish our petition. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, it must be in record that the 168 members of Parliament, 186, pardon me, the 186 members of Parliament who appended their signatures represent constituencies. And I want to give you guarantee to this House that each one of us has a minimum of eligible voters of 25,000. And if you check the 186, that's equivalent of about 4.6 million voters in this country who can determine a vote of a president. Right Honorable Speaker, we are begging for your indulgence. To be on record, our petition, which has met all the conditions, cannot be rubbished the way the Speaker is trying to do. If she wants to rubbish it, it shouldn't be in a manner of writing to us. The petition has met all conditions to be put on the order paper and we debate it. Why is it not being debated? We are not 100% sure that we are going to win, but we need a debate. We want to be heard. Why are you not being neutral? What is the problem with the Speaker, Anita Among? We demand for our petition to be heard on this floor of Parliament. You are not going to let down Ugandans. You are not going to let down the institution of Parliament in this country. You are not going to do this. We are not ready to witness this in history. If you buy to be part of it, I am sorry for you, Right Honorable Speaker. Leave it to the one, because when Gulu, the Speaker, Anita Among, made it clear that don't bring your manyanga here. We shall handle your matter in Parliament in Kampala. Where is she today? We've been waiting to face her here. Where is she? Why is she running away? We need this matter to be debated. We need this matter to be debated.
Thank you, Honorable.
I rest my case.
Thank you.
And
now,
we are monitoring closely. We are not about to give up.
Thank you. Now, Honorable colleagues, I request we don't personalize these matters. Okay.
Who doesn't know?
No, Honorable Sechko, please.
No, who doesn't know?
I've given you opportunity. Yeah, please.
Who doesn't know in this country that our motion is being fought?
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, Honorable Sechkubo, you received communication of the Speaker. If you are not satisfied, kindly write back. Okay? No, please, Honorable Sech. No, please, Honorable colleagues. Thank you. Next item. Next item.
Right, Honorable Speaker, just one.
No.
Item. Right, Honorable Speaker, just for this.
Let him mention for the record. Yeah. Honorable Sechkubo.
Speaker, it is still within your powers. Leave alone the correspondences. Once the matter has arisen, whether you are declining it because of the sub judice rule or because of the res judicata, I know this parliament is not transforming itself into some court. We are not. But also, number two, make a ruling in the chair. Because all the requirements for the motion were fulfilled. Make a ruling so that it is part of the Hansard, so that the future generation can quote the same. Because this is a record, and the Hansard can only be the official record of this House. And once the process was underway, you make a ruling in that chair.
Thank you.
Not fall back into correspondences, because it will not be able to address our matter, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Sechkubo. I've noted your concern. Okay, I've noted that. Kindly allow me to consult. Okay, because even me as a presiding officer, I have technical people I consult. Thank you. Next item.
Item 3, laying of papers 1. Report on public debt, grants, grantees, and other financial liabilities for the financial year 2023-24.
Honorable Minister for Finance. Honorable Minister of Finance. Honorable Minister of Finance. Please. Please, please. I'm the custodian of rules. I determine whether procedure, whether order, whether what. Okay? Please. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Minister, first wait. Honorable, there is nowhere it is written in our rules that when a member stands up on procedure, a presiding officer must stop and first get it. I want you to have that. Okay? So as a presiding officer here, I've made my ruling. Honorable Minister, continue.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay on the table a report on public debt, grants, guarantees, and other financial liabilities for financial year 2023-2024. I beg to lay.
Thank you. The report is referred to the Committee on National Economy for consideration and report back to the House.
Item 3.2, report of a delegation of Parliament to the 4th East African Congress of Accountants in Kigali, Rwanda, pursuant to Rule 33 of the Rules of Procedure.
Honorable Nakut, we use just 10 minutes by giving highlights.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay a report of a delegation of Parliament to the 4th East African Congress of Accountants, HIACOA, in Kigali, Rwanda, in April 2024. Right Honorable Speaker, as permitted by Rule 33, allow me to give 3 key highlights about the 4th East African Congress of Accountants, where we participated. Right Honorable Speaker, it was a 3-day Congress. It was a 3-day Congress, and Parliament of Uganda was represented by 5 delegates. There were over 600 participants. Ugandan delegation was the second biggest delegation that appeared in that Congress. There are three issues that I wish to draw our attention to arising from this Congress, and I will highlight them. Number one, participation of the East African accountants and auditors in the provision of services in the region. Right Honorable Speaker, even though we have the East African community and the agreements therein, not every country has opened their doors to the accountants from all the countries. Some countries have opened, some have not. So there is work to be done, and we appeal that the Ministry of East African Community Affairs will champion the harmonization process of our laws so that the accountants and auditors in Uganda and other East African countries can give these services with ease in any of the East African countries. Number two, Right Honorable, we had a discussion with the leadership of ICPAU, and we saw the need to widen the scope of ICPAU to cater for full grooming of the accountants from lower levels to the CPA levels that we have now. The learning was from Rwanda that has improved their numbers and the quality of their profession because there is no hindrance to the CPA Rwanda. And so it is our wish that when we come for leave to amend the Accountants Act to cover the scope of ICPAU and the needs of the East African community, that this House will cooperate. Thirdly, I said three issues, the final one. We had a representative of the Secretariat of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area in that Congress. She gave a report on the contributions and the participation of countries in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. She also said that funding for the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat is computed based on the level of GDP. And that means, given our high GDP, Uganda contributes or has obligations which are higher than other countries. And she challenged us that we should find out from our countries what we are doing to make good use of that contribution. That means we should take stock of the goods and services we are selling and supplying to the countries in the continent. So based on that, it is our considered view that the Ministry of Trade takes stock and also tables to this House what our participation in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Those are the three issues I wished to say. But now let me say a vote of thanks. Yes, to the members that participated and represented the Parliament. The Honorable Tayebo Habat is here. The Honorable Aleper Moses. The Honorable Loi Katali. The Honorable Bish Roland Njomugenyi. And myself. These members delegated me to lead them. And that's why I'm reading the report on their behalf. I laid the report on their behalf, and I wish to thank them. They did not give me any hard time, and I'll be happy to work with them again very soon. I also wish to thank you, Right Honorable, and the Right Honorable Anita Among for making it possible for us to participate in this 4th East African Congress of Accountants. Otherwise, without your support, it would be difficult. I also wish to thank the Honorable Minister, CPA, Honorable Mr. Sizi, for pushing that we participate in this very important Congress. I beg to submit, Right Honorable.
Thank you. Colleagues are appointing a time for debating this report as required by Rule 33 of our Rules of Procedure. Next item.
Item 4 on the other paper, motion for resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to Rebecca Cheptegei, Uganda's foreign cross-country long distance marathon runner and Olympian.
Honorable Minister Peter Gwang.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move a motion, resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Rebecca Cheptegei, an Olympic athlete and a sergeant of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, for her enduring and patriotic contribution to the sports development in Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, I move under Rule 56 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament of Uganda. Whereas the Parliament of Uganda received with deep sorrow the tragic news of the death of Sergeant Cheptegei Rebecca, Uganda's Olympic athletes, which occurred on 4 September 2024 at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret, Kenya, aware that Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei has had a celebrated career serving the Uganda People's Defense Forces from 2007 with the honesty and integrity, rising from the officer to sergeant through sports. Noting that Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei was a celebrated long distance and marathon runner who represented Uganda in many international competitions on track, road and cross country, including the just 2024 Paris Olympics, World Athletics Championship, which took place in Budapest, Commonwealth Games, World Mountain Running 2022, World Cross Country Championship, All African Games, Budapest 2023, Kampala Marathon 2014, Poland 2013, and 2010 Punta, Spain 2011, as well as many other local and international marathons. Recognizing that Sergeant Cheptegei was an athlete of distinguished talent and skills who, through a strong work ethics, confidence, professionalism, commitment to her sports and patriotism, set an international and local records. Her illustrious career in sports complemented government efforts to change the narrative about Uganda internationally. Indeed, she is among the elite athletes, the unsung heroes of our nation, who have headed to the call of duty to not only raise the Ugandan flag through sports at international stage, but also to inspire our youth and the generations to come to live a purposeful, driven life. Her life is an epitome of success and illustrated by her achievements that have been etched into annals of the history, and this include but not limited to the following. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, if you look at the achievements my daughter, our fallen daughter, has made, there are about 15 of them. She was a gold medalist in the World Athletics Mountain Run, trailing in Chiang Mai, in Thailand, where I was present. She was a gold medalist at Podav City Marathon in Italy. She was a gold medalist at St. Paula in 10 kilometers race in 2013 in Spain. She was a gold medalist at the 47th Itrion of the Cross International Competition in Spain 2013. She was a silver medalist at Firefans Marathon in Italy in 2023. She was a silver medalist in Madrid in 2021 half marathon in Madrid in Spain. She was again a silver medalist in Dakar half marathon 2029. She was a silver medalist in Kampala City Marathon, half marathon in 2021. She was a bronze medalist in the World Military Games in Rio de Janeiro in 2011. She was a bronze medalist at the Guangzhou half marathon, China 2016. She was the fourth in AD Nok Abu Dhabi Marathon, United Arab Emirates in 2022 with a national record of 2 hours 22.7 microseconds. She was the fourth of the just concluded All-African Games in Ghana, in Accra. She was the fourth at the Congo-Brazzaville Marathon in Congo, and she was the seventh at the Doha Marathon Qatar 2024. She was the 12th at the Shanghai Half Marathon in China in 2017. Those are but to mention but a few. Appreciating that Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei used her position as an athlete to promote the profile and international standing of Uganda and its people. The Uganda People's Defense Forces, the sports president of Uganda, and was a great inspiration to Ugandan athletes, especially women and girl child. Understanding that Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei is survived by 2 biological children, and I want to put this on record, and one she adopted as her daughter because the young girl was left by a mother who disappeared up to now. So she has an adopted kid. Her 2 biological survived by 2 children aged 11 and 8 who are in their need of support. 4, she was the sole provider. Now, therefore, let it be resolved by this Parliament as follows. That Parliament collectively conveys its deepest condolences to the bereaved children, family, relatives, friends, the athletics and sports fraternity, and the people of Uganda for the loss of a globally acclaimed athlete, a patriotic soldier, and a responsible citizen. 2, that this Parliament takes cognizance of and appreciates the immense and enduring contribution made by Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei to the promotion and the development of sports and the development of Uganda through sports. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, I beg to move.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Is the motion seconded? Yes. Honourable Kayemba Soro, Honourable Joe Senyon, Honourable Julius Achon, Honourable Tomaza, Honourable Herrero, Chief Whip, the whole House, Honourable Ramirama, the whole House, Honourable colleagues. Yes. Honourable Zake Francis. Yes, Honourable Minister, would you love to speak to your motion?
Right Honourable Speaker, when I speak about this motion, sometimes as a certified hustler who is before you here, you feel like crying. Sometimes we must appreciate where we come from. It's our history which drives us to work for this nation. For Rebecca, I want to confirm, I came to know her as a Minister of Sports when I met them as Team Uganda for the just concluded Paris elections. Like I always do, I tend to give a lot of time to understand the children whom I work with. I want to confirm, Team Uganda, and specifically, I was discussing with the Uganda Athletics Federation on the performance of our girl children in international competitions. For some of you who have been following athletics and sports in particular, you look at the girls' performance of Team Uganda vis-a-vis our neighbors. Our performance, with the exception of one, that is Paris Chemtai, is a bit wanting. I took in interest to understand where is the problem. I want to confirm as a minister, unlike others, that some of these daughters accepted to confide to me their personal problems they were facing. And I want to say this, Rebecca, among the many, is among those who came to me and told me she had a family problem. Friends, and I call upon all of us here to first accept we must denounce bad cultural practices which still exist in our societies. Number 2, we must denounce domestic violence. Gender-based violence, we must denounce. Because, truth be told, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, what killed our daughter was on the issue of property. Because she has been running in line with the records I have shared here, she has been winning some money. For that, some of us men still want to believe we have ownership of the monies of these children, of our wives, which I want to confirm here as to us men. Please, can we accept to work hard so that what belongs to us is ours and what belongs to our wives is for them. Right Honorable Speaker, the whole issue which has led to Rebecca's death is a question of my daughter had confided in me. She had a boyfriend. Boyfriend was based in Kenya. Yes, he was a Kenyan. Who she had bought properties. Unfortunately, my brother, the late, was not comfortable whenever she brought a topic of our development of our property. The late wanted that the names of the property should be put on his name. The late wanted that the account, the late husband, the account my daughter was controlling should be put in the shared names. Friends, look at the barbaric way at which our daughter died. How can in this 21st century you buy petrol and you come and pour to a human being and set fire? What kind of person is this? Friends, Rebecca, the message must live to help us address other emerging challenges among the population we have today. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, same challenge is happening with others, which I want to say, I had promised them, and I want to confirm before the floor of this house, I am going back to go to meet all the families of these elite athletes, specifically ladies, to begin addressing some of these challenges amongst them with their spouses and their family members. Mr. Speaker, I want to specifically thank the government of the Republic of Kenya. Friends, the moment I got this information, I was able to link up with my colleague, the Minister of Sports of the Republic of Kenya, and I want to confirm, they had pledged to airlift our daughter to Nairobi Hospital under their own medical bills to cater for her. Unfortunately, Rebecca could not live to get this service done to her. She passed on. I want to thank Moi Teaching Hospital in Eldoret, the medical team who tried what they could to help our daughter. I want specifically to thank my dear President and my senior minister, who, having got the information, were able to come in to help. Actually, the President contributed 50 million shillings to help the family, of Rebecca, who are still alive today. I want to thank the family of the UPDF. Thank you, generals, for standing firm. Our daughter was given a burial of not of her rank. She was given a burial of a general who are before us here in the August House. I want to thank the leadership of UPDF. Last but not least, Right Honorable Speaker, I want again to reiterate that gender-based violence is one we must all condemn in the strongest terms possible, so that we have a free world where all of us live equally in terms of the way God produces us. I thank you for giving us the opportunity to move this motion. May the soul of our dear daughter, Rebecca Cheptegei, rest in eternal peace. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. That's really emotional. You know, honorable colleagues, we sit on a lot. You might find there are even some of our colleagues who go through that. Yes. Especially females, but also including some men. Yes. You know, there is something I read, Honorable Minister, there's something I read, that some of these athletes, that their ATMs are with their boyfriends. You know?
Mr. Speaker, sir, that is the reason I have given. Can I be heard, Right Honorable Speaker?
Please, honorable colleagues, let's listen to the minister.
That is the reason I've given a big statement of saying we must denounce bad cultural practices which still exist. Why am I bringing this? In some of the communities in our country and in the neighboring country, they still believe that property, money, it should all be held by men. Mr. Speaker, I know of one case which I don't want to put on record, where one of my daughters, who is one of our national athletes, came to me and cried to me and requested me to talk to the husband. I want to confirm. I called the husband. I called the father of the husband. I called the mother of the what? Of the husband. I sat with them in my office here. I counseled them. And today, that friend of ours, that friend of mine, my daughter is finally peaceful and doing a commendable job. So the question is, like what you said, it's true, these things exist. And I really want to challenge us colleagues. It's important that we really get back to our society and explain certain roles. If not, you're right on what you've said. The last one which I'd forgotten, imagine this barbaric man. The poor girl attempted to run in the house to pick water, having burnt the mother, ran to get water to pour to the mother. The poor man kicked the poor girl. What kind of a human being are you?
Honorable Soro Kayemba. We on seconders. Please, honorable colleagues, we have seconders who are registered here. That's what we start with. You know, the motion is seconded. I hope you have copies of the order paper because they are listed on the order paper.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to join this Parliament to second the motion of paying tribute to our international foreign athlete, our sister, Rebecca Cheptegei. It's so sad that Uganda went viral on international media over such a bad image. But I want to tackle it in a different way. First of all, how did our sister go to Kenya? She went to Kenya because she was looking for a better facility, training facility, to reach her dreams. That's how she got a man, a monster, that took her life. Actually, I would call him a beast. Our Honorable Minister and the government, to end these injustices and to end this character where our athletes are losing properties, are losing lives in Kenya, we should focus more of improving our training facilities here. We have the 38 High Altitude Center, which has been built for years and years, I think 13 years, and it's not yet finished as for now. Yet, if it was in a good way, our people wouldn't go to Kenya to look for better facilities. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister Gwang did a good job in counseling the girl athletes. But we need fair budgeting for these other sports federations. We agree that football is the most popular sport in the country. But if other federations also got better budgets, maybe they would have a better person, a professional person who would speak to the athletes before doing this post-mortem. So I call upon the minister and the government to see that we improve these other sports disciplines, the budget. Imagine one getting 17 and netball getting 320 million shillings. Other getting 17 billion and another getting 320. So we think we need to get a way of how we can balance and do fairness of all the sports. When we speak about sports, most countries have what we call high performance centers. These look like academies, national academies, where actually they are always in different regions. When they tap into a talent, they bring them together. They say together, because sports is based on 4 aspects: the technical one, the tactical one, the physical, and the most important thing is the psychological approach. Honorable Minister and the government, where are these things in our country? Where is the national center that helps to improve these athletes when they are still at the young age? So I think we should focus more of making a national academy, a national high performance center, not only national but even regional, where if we get talents at an early age, we get them, we nurture them, and all excel in the 4 aspects. The government of France, Right Honorable Speaker, named a place, a sports facility in Paris after our fallen hero. What is the government of Uganda doing? France, which is far away miles from here, there is a sports center that was named after this heroine. Honorable Minister, we need also to know, because we need to remember her always and always. The way she died needs to act as a sign for men, for all people, not to involve in domestic violence. I pray, as we are praying to see that we get more sports facilities. I'm happy that this time at least we got some, but it would have been done years ago, and it's not enough, because it's basically basing on the AFCON, which is football. Right, Honorable Minister, since we have many disciplines, those stadiums that are built should tackle other disciplines. We should have a gym for boxing, we should have netball and the rest. Lastly, as I'm concluding this, Right Honorable Speaker, the main issue for Uganda, especially for sports, is not prioritizing. Though I thank this parliament for the first time, it's the first parliament to give sports space. I thank you very much for doing that. But our main issue is about money always. We have the betting companies here in Uganda. I know National Lottery is trying to do that. But I would like to task, I don't know whether it's the right language, the Minister for Finance and the Minister for Education and Sports to engage the National Lottery and Gaming Board, so that these betting houses that take our money, and most of them are for foreigners, leave a percentage in the sports fund here. We need to develop a sports fund, a board to take it over, all out will manage, that will be another day. So that money can go to develop a stadium in Bukoma Simbi, can go to do Kacheka, can go and... That's what we have seen everywhere we have traveled.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. Now, I've seen there was no meeting between the mover and the seconder. Because the seconder was not even seconding. He was... he seconded by saying, no, you can't come up to... You chose him. Yes, as a mover, you chose him, now you're rushing to respond to him. You should have held the meeting and agreed to. So, Honorable Granny, I hope. Honorable, I'm still having members who are listed on the order paper. Honorable Naraisha Kaban, Honorable Santa Arum,
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand to second the motion to pay tribute to Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei, our fallen Olympian, a marathon, and our heroine. Right Honorable Speaker, we have been paying tribute in this parliament for various sporting disciplines. But this afternoon, I stand in a very sad way and a sad moment to pay tribute to a fallen heroine in the sports fraternity after being killed by a partner or a lover, for that matter, those by petrol and set ablaze. Right Honorable Speaker, this is a wake-up call for domestic violence, which is so rampant, not only in sports, but even in our communities. To this extent, Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the mover of the motion the State Minister for Sports. He has tried to do his best. But, Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to urge the mover that on top of what he's doing, let's put a serious desk, a structure which helps these people when they get their money, Right Honorable Speaker. Because you are one, and talking to these athletes, all sports people one by one, will not be so easy. And I join you together with the Minister of Gender. I'm happy that she's here in person. We need to educate. We need to sensitize our sports men and women who are lifting our flag so high. There are men who are out there who are just ready to prey on the money that these athletes and the sports women get from their sweats. Right Honorable Speaker, two, I would like to add my voice on the issue of lack of training grounds for our sportsmen and women. I want to thank the government that we have a high altitude training center which is soon to be completed. But, Mr. Speaker, the mover made mention of appreciating Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei. How are we going to appreciate her? Are we going to build another training center and we name it after her? I would like to add my voice onto yours that this would be something so great to remember her, to enable much as she's gone, it will inspire many more youth who will live and up to what she has done. Three, Right Honorable Speaker, we have our runners always migrating to the neighboring Kenya, looking for the training grounds. The late was very patriotic. She concentrated, she represented our country. When we had Olympic going on, some runners were running for other countries, but she was so patriotic that she went and trained in Kenya, but came back and ran for Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to urge that if we are really to remember her as a country, we need to get another stadium and name it after her. We have one, and one is not enough. Finally, Akibwa was already named. We need another name, gender. Mr. Speaker, sports is so much male-dominated. And I would like to urge the Ministry of Sports and Gender to find a way to make sure that the gender balancing in sports must be seen to help these women. Earlier on, in the past years, there were news that some of the girls were being asked to have sex so that they are put onto the team. And this is going to another level, that it happened in Kenya. This was the third time that the sports ladies were killed. So, Mr. Speaker, through you, the Minister of Gender is here. Let's put in place something to help the gender femininity and to the country at large. I thank you. Rest in peace, dear Olympian.
Thank you, Honorable colleagues. I'm going to give you a chance. I'll first pick 3 people for specific reasons. Okay? Then I also go to the Sebei group. Then I go to ask the rest. Now the 3, she was a sergeant in the UPDF. So I'll start with General Masiko. Then we have our former Olympian, Honorable Achon, but also our star athlete, Honorable Azatom. You can, and he's even putting on evidence. And then I'll give Honorable Aran. Thank you. Then, Honorable colleagues, this is the only item we are going to handle today. So that I can give all of you a chance, if we can be very quick and we speak on it. Thank you. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity given to to me as an institution that is bereaved indeed by the unfortunate incident of the passing of Sergeant Cheptegei Rebecca. Right Honorable Speaker, I support the motion of paying tribute to this young lady. As UPDF, when we received the information, we were greatly saddened and particularly touched by the manner in which she met her death. Right Honorable Speaker, as the Honorable Minister has indeed indicated, Sergeant Cheptegei Rebecca was accorded a befitting send-off, and it wouldn't have been any less. Right Honorable Speaker, it is indeed sad that Sergeant Cheptegei Rebecca met her death in a manner she did. As a policy, the security forces are giving priority to sportsmen and women to get space, to be given special consideration when we are recruiting, so that not only do they have a stable livelihood apart from what they get during their performance, but they have also guaranteed welfare. It is contradictory that a trained personnel could be treated this way. We feel sad, and we are going to take steps to ensure those other sports ladies and men who are particularly within the security forces take precaution not to meet such fate. Right Honorable Speaker, I also want to use this opportunity to comment on the statements and also what appeared in the press that Cheptegei couldn't have died had it not been that she was looking for better facilities in Kenya. Right Honorable Speaker, I've had opportunity to visit the high altitude facility at Teriet near Kapshorwa town. It's not true that this facility is incomplete. To the contrary, this facility is complete and in use. What I heard, even fellow sports people, I think the other mayor counterpart, he was making appeal that those who still want to go out should take advantage of this facility. Right Honorable Speaker, what we ought to take note is that Teriet facility is a world-class facility. It can even host world games. I think what we ought to do as we pay tribute to this young lady is to urge the private sector to take advantage and begin putting hotels around Kapshorwa so that in the future we can bid to hold world games. That facility is, I want to urge honorable members, it is worth visiting and see what this government has done. So with those remarks, may the good Lord grant Cheptegei eternal peace. I beg support.
Thank you, General. Honorable Chon.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I would also like to add my voice on our fallen hero, the late Cheptegei Rebecca. Honorable Speaker, it is so heartening on when we heard the news. Honorable members, athletes or sportsmen generally, we come from a very deplorable background. In order for you to be a good athlete or any sport, you must come from a very poor background where your parents can pay even school fees, or your parents can even afford 1 million a day. It is very unfortunate we lost our sister. Imagine waking up in the morning and you run 12 to 15 kilometers daily. You're trying to find your way through to make a survival. Honorable Speaker, not many years ago, women athletes were not supposed to compete or to do any sports. But I'm so happy to see that the generation is changing, and also the government of this country is putting a lot to make sure sports really transform or change the lives of the youth. We do sports is a part of employment, Honorable Speaker. When you heard what Honorable Minister read, the performance of this wonderful young fallen hero who passed on, she had already made her way. She already made the family surviving with the small money that she had. It is very unfortunate she didn't make it. And then my appeal, I would ask Honorable Minister, I know there's some money which they are paying the well-performed athletes who have won medal. Can the government still continue to support or pay the family of our fallen hero for some few months, as she left a lot of, or many children, 3 as you talk about? Then, Honorable Speaker, I would also ask the government, if the government cannot build a stadium, I would ask something simple, maybe a school. I think this would motivate other young female athletes or sports ladies in this country. Or even the road. I think these are simple, because I look at, we have 2 occasions to pay tribute. Normally we do when somebody is still alive. Then secondly, we pay tribute when somebody is dead. But all this we must do something which would at least we would to remember our fallen hero, Cheptegei, Rebecca. If we don't do this, it's just going to end like this, and she will not be remembered no more. I feel so hurting for whatever happened, and I can't speak much, Honorable Speaker, and I would ask that may her soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Honorable Acho. Thank you. Honorable Azato.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. On behalf of the people of Moyo District, and on my own behalf, I extend our sincere condolences to the bereaved family members, relatives, friends, the people of Bukwo, the Ugandans, and everybody, the members of Parliament, for the demise of Sergeant Rebecca. And we always say God gives and takes. The people of Bukwo, my sincere condolences. Mr. Speaker, while I was the chairman of athletics, Arua District, during those days, as well as the FUFA delegate for Arua District in Lawrence Molindo's regime, Sergeant Rebecca could come with her groups, with her peers to West Nile. And since I was the chairperson for athletics, I would always receive them and take them around, and they will participate in what we call Mayank race. There's Mayank race. Mayank simply means those districts that comprises of those that come from West Nile. And so she will come and will train them, and at times we will also pay a visit to Kapchorwa, and that's how we interacted. Mr. Speaker, Minister, this for your attention. Honorable Minister, this for your attention. This for your attention. Right now as I talk, Mr. Speaker, I have a daughter called Margaret Ijoria Aza. She has qualified to go to one of the European countries next month. Her accolades are here. I hope she's going to be protected. She's going next month. These are her accolades. I hope she's going to be protected. She's called Margaret Ijoria as a, she's going to one of those European countries, like father, like a son. Lastly, Mr. Speaker.
Like daughter, correct it.
Like father, like a daughter. Thank you very much. And also have a son who is a goalkeeper anyway. Okay, lastly, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to bring this to our attention as the House. Number one, we should develop our athletics potential by using our land, not taking our runners to go to, participate, to go and train in Tanzania, in Kenya, or South Sudan. We have undulating hills. The terrain is so undulating. We have lowlands and so on where they can train. Number two, Mr. Speaker, as said by the minister, we should avoid gender-based violence in all areas of life. Not only that, Mr. Speaker, there was that idea of constructing 18 stadiums in the whole country. How far is that program gone, Mr. Minister? How far is that program? Because I understand Churchill Stadium in Modis is one of them, and also Barifa Stadium in the names of Docas in Jikuru supposed to be constructed. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I would like to congratulate and thank our Uganda cranes who are doing us proud. They are doing us proud. Let us pray for them. Let us encourage them so that they may qualify for AFCON for Morocco. And Mr. Speaker, right now as I talk, there's a bickering, there's confusion, there's quarreling in the netball fraternity. What is happening there? Minister, help in that regard. Otherwise, to all of us now, let us take to sports so that we become healthy, we avoid non-communicable diseases, cardiovascular diseases, and diseases that affect us, like diabetes, like stroke, cardiac arrest, hypertension, blood pressure, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Sewanyana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also stand here to pay tribute to our athlete, Rebecca Cheptegei, who died from Kenya. Mr. Speaker, there are so many problems which have been cited here. And amongst the problems is the lack of a training facility, like how my shadow minister has said. It is true we lack a training facility which is ready for athletics training in Uganda. But that won't stop capable athletes from going somewhere else for better training. That's a fact in sports. Even when we get 88, people will come from Finland, Iceland, and train from Uganda because they would think that we have better conditions for them to compete. Even